What is up, guys? John the Retro Bro back again. Do you even retro, bro? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about retro video games, and I'm doing a response video to my buddy Xanders Channel over at XS Gaming Podcast. Very good YouTuber. He's also on Facebook. If you're into retro gaming, check his content out. Awesome discussions. Does a lot of indie reviews. I will leave a link to his channel and his Facebook page down below. Alright guys, so he did a video, and his video was consoles you enjoy that you don't have nostalgia for. And I thought it was an awesome topic because as somebody who loves to play on the Raspberry Pi, and I have access to literally every console pretty much ever made. If you download our 64 gigabyte image or you buy one of our Pi bundles on one of the links in the description, you will have access to over 20 consoles, guys. And of course everybody loves, the Mario Brothers, the Sonics. That's what we grew up with. That's one of the reasons why we love playing these Raspberry Pi consoles. That's why we love emulation. That's why we collect, for some of us. And it got me thinking, like, this is a good video topic because there's a lot of consoles I would have never even played if it wasn't for the Raspberry Pi and emulation. So guys, my first console is the Super Nintendo. Yes, it is true. To this day, I never owned a Super Nintendo. I never owned a Super Nintendo. To this day, I'm 33 years old. I still don't have one. However, I can play every single game. And it was one of those consoles where, my friends had it, my cousins had it. So I got a lot of playtime, but it was always kind of sporadic. I never got to sit down for days or hours and play one game and really dive into it. And as an adult, I've gotten into so many games. I mean, Super Castlevania 4, one of my favorite series of video games, guys. I got to enjoy that. I got to try Super Mario RPG. I got to try, Demon's Crest. All these amazing games that I never played as a kid. I had no nostalgia for. Mega Man X. I played Mega Man X as a kid, but I never played it for more than like 30 minutes because I was always over at a friend's house. So Super Nintendo, very obvious. A lot of people had it. I myself, I was a Genesis kid, never had one. Another console that I really enjoyed is, I never enjoyed as a kid. I always kind of wanted one because I had a Genesis, was the Sega CD, guys. Recently I, put a lot of the Sega CD games on my own Raspberry Pi. Games like Terminator, games like Sonic CD, the obvious ones. These are games I never played. I actually never played Sonic CD up until about a year ago. Believe it or not, never played it. So it was really fun to play that. The Terminator game on the Sega CD, all those FMV games, some love them, some hate them. There's a love-hate relationship for them. I'm not a big fan, but they're very cool. The Sega CD was like the weird period between, our cartoon sprites to our 3D graphics. So I think it's a very interesting console just for that reason. If you can't have one, you can't own one. I know the games are expensive. Definitely, get it on the Pi. So the Sega CD, while not a huge library, definitely one that I really enjoyed today as an adult that I don't have nostalgia for. Now, the other one, and this is a strange console because I kind of knew it existed, and my buddy Xander mentioned this one as well, but it was the PC Engine TurboGrafx 16. And again, up until 2 years ago, I never played it. I always kind of knew about it, and the reason why I knew about it, which is strange, when I was a kid, I had a Sega Genesis. My stepdad bought it for me. But I remember him telling me that, he was old and he wasn't really with the times. And he was like, well, I had a TurboGrafx 16. And I'm like, I don't think that's a thing. Like, I thought he just made it up. I didn't really, I thought maybe it was something else. I never really had heard of it. And I'm like, that's just weird. Who calls a console that? I think he's just pulling my leg. So I kind of knew it existed, but I didn't because he said it and I didn't believe him. I thought he was just, maybe trying to be cool, TurboGrafx 16, But guys, I absolutely love Airzon, Bonk's Adventure, all the shooters that are on that game by Hudson Soft. There's so many. Magical Chase, which is like a $3,000 game, bro. Do you even, miss a couple mortgage payments to buy a game? But, that's a $3,000 game. Bro, we're emulating it for free on the Raspberry Pi. Okay? Get yours in the description below. And there's so many good games on there. Not so many fighters, but the cool thing about the TurboGrafx 16 is again, it's a different console. It stands alone. It's not trying to be, you know, the Genesis. It's not trying to be the Super Nintendo. And the Dracula game, Dracula X, you know, Rondo of Blood. I never played that in its pure form. I know it was on the Wii. It was on the Wii a few years ago. I never got a chance to play it. I played it on my Pi. You know, thank God for save states, because I probably wouldn't have beat the game. You know, but the Rondo of Blood, the actual translation, the original one that's meant to be on the PC Engine, you know, it's such a good game, and you have to experience it. If you don't have it on there, if you don't have it on the Pi, there's Castlevania Requiem. It's got Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood on there. So if you have a PS4, you can get that game for, I think it's $20, you know, digitally. But yeah, I mean, TurboGrafx 16 is just such a fun console, you know, and especially me, because I love the shooters. But yeah, man, all these consoles, all these games I mentioned, they're all available on our Raspberry Pis on RetroBroGaming.com, so definitely check it out. But thanks for Xander for making the video and putting the idea in my head to do a video response. It's a very awesome topic. But yeah, guys, just to wrap it up, Super Nintendo, Sega CD, and TurboGrafx 16, my top 3 consoles that I didn't have as a kid. No nostalgia for it, but I enjoyed it. I enjoy it now. So, all right, guys, until next time, RetroBro out, and do you even retro, bro?